I don't care if it's daylight standard time. I don't care if it's daylight savings time. I don't care if it's daylight supersize it time. Just pick one. Norman Chad. Norman Chad. And welcome to Gambling Mad with Norman Chad. I am Norman Chad. Coming up on today's show, the Texans will upset the Lions. You heard it here first. What's the best state to live in if you want to get married? You're going to hear it here first. And the Mount Rushmore of Las Vegas steakhouses, you will hear it here first. Gambling Mad, as always, brought to you by Fritos, picked fresh off of Central California trees each morning, delivered directly to your local retailer each afternoon. And by the amazing taste of Fresca. It's refreshing. It's recuperative. It's Fresca. Fritos and Fresca. It's a meal. Everyone's getting their shorts bunched up over the LeBron James, Bronny James situation. First of all, why are you wearing shorts? Real men and women wear pants. Second of all, just shut up and let LeBron and Bronny dribble. It's the NBA. It's entertainment. It's pretty cool that for the first time ever, a father and a son are playing in the NBA together on the same team. Does Bronny deserve to be in the NBA right now? Probably not, but give him a chance. Is Bronny only with the Lakers because of his father? Duh. It's called nepotism. And listen, you chowderheads and chuckleheads, every industry in America, with the possible exception of the U.S. Postal Service, has nepotism. This nation was built on nepotism. Ever hear of John Adams and John Quincy Adams? Father and son, second and sixth presidents of these United States. George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush, 41st and 43rd presidents of these United States. How about Hollywood? Kirk and Michael Douglas, Martin and Charlie Sheen, Aaron and Tori Spelling, Donald and Kiefer Sutherland, Francis Ford and Sophia Coppola. The list goes on and on. The Baldwin brothers, Alec, William, Billy, William, Stephen, and Biff. There's a lot of Baldwin brothers. Every family business in this country, small or large, smells of nepotism. The Murdochs with Fox, the Waltons with Walmart, the Trumps with Trump bankruptcies. So lay off LeBron and Bronny. By the way, FYI, okay, I got here all on my own. One of America's top unpaid podcasters. God, I wish Billy Ray Cyrus were my father. We now have our weekly NFL picks. Let's take a look at where we are. 18, 16, and 1 on the season. Can't make a living off of that, but it's enough for, hot dog on a stick with a lemonade. Let's go. Bills at Colts. This is Josh Allen versus Joe Flacco. Allen has 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this season. Flacco turns 40 in 2 months. He has no mobility in the pocket. In his defense, it is tough for Flacco to scramble because he is literally sitting in a rocking chair in that pocket. The Bills love going to Indianapolis. They always have St. Elmo's Steakhouse cater their halftime buffet. I'm taking the Bills minus 4 points. Steelers at Commanders. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin did the right thing when he switched quarterbacks last month, going from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. Washington has the number 1 scoring offense in the NFC. Pittsburgh has the number 2 scoring defense in the AFC. Good defense beats good offense. Just look at my second marriage. This game should be as close as Trump-Kamala without the trash talking. Let's go with Steelers to cover the spread as a 2.5-point underdog. Vikings at Jaguars. The Vikings' Aaron Jones leads the NFL in receiving yards. You could look it up. The Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence is 23rd, way down there, 23rd in NFL passer rating. You could look it up. The Jaguars' defense stinks You could look it up. The Vikings always beat the Jaguars. You could look it up. I'm picking the Vikings. No need to look it up. You're hearing it right here, right now from me. I'm going with the Vikings in this one as a 4-point favorite. It is time for our colander pick of the week. That's a gorgeous colander. Titans at the Chargers. The Chargers held the Browns to 3.8 yards per play last week. The Titans, who play offense without a quarterback, the Titans are capable of getting at least 3.9 yards per play against San Diego this week. The Titans are 1-7 against the spread this season. It seems like I pick them every week, and I'm always wrong. But like my Uncle Nathan used to say, don't get off the horse, no matter how many times it throws you to the ground. Yep, I'm going once again with the Titans plus 3.5. And final game of the week, Lions at the Texans. It's a good one. The Lions are the NFL's highest scoring team. In the last six games, the Lions have more touchdowns, 28, than they have incompletions, 24. And the Lions are 4-0 on the road this season. But the Lions will have to sit in their hotel rooms all day to wait for this Sunday night game, and they booked a hotel that does not have room service. Stupid, stupid move. Plus, the Texans are 4-0 this season at home, and they looked awful last week, losing to the Jets, so I believe they will bounce to glory this week. This is our upset. The Texans win this one, so take the Texans plus 3. You enjoying the bones, girls? If you can hear, we have a couple of new production staffers on 4 legs. They're on their union coffee break right now. Let's talk marriage. You've come to the right place. You want to tie the knot? The state of Wyoming has the highest percentage of adults who are wed, 72%. Number 2 in the U.S. is Idaho. Number 3 is Maine. Believe it or not, the worst place to go for the ultimate hookup is New York. 38% of adults in the state of New York have never been married. That's the highest rate in the country. Rhode Island is number 2 for unmarried adults. California is number 3. I live in California. And this reminds me of the first time I was jilted by a woman I thought was going to walk down the aisle with me. She was a model. Let me show you who she was. Here she is. She was a model for Prada, I think. She left me for this guy. Huh? Take a look. His name was Toomey. Come on now. Toomey or me? Is it even close? Oh my goodness. Anyway, I will never forget. That was the darkest day of my 25th year on this planet. I promise, honey, I will stop gambling. I love your hair. I love your purse. Please don't leave. And why are you always on the phone when I'm talking to you? Time for our Mount Rushmore of Las Vegas steakhouses. Understand this. Las Vegas has 77,000 steakhouses. Ruth's Chris has an outpost in town, but why would you ever eat at the Ruth's Chris in Las Vegas? When you're in Albuquerque, sure, okay? Yes to Ruth's Chris. Now, my Mount Rushmore of Las Vegas steakhouses will not include the best places to get steak in Las Vegas. My Mount Rushmore choices are pretty much old school. Before we get to them, let me acknowledge some of my favorite top shelf steak joints. SW Steakhouse at the Wynn, Wolfgang Puck's Cut at the Palazzo, Tom Colicchio's Craft Steak at MGM Grand, and Peter Luger at Caesar's Palace. Peter Luger, I mean, they know meat, but it's only been in town for about a year, so you don't get your porterhouse and lamb chops up on that Mount Rushmore as a newbie. All the runner-ups are very expensive. My Mount Rushmore Las Vegas steakhouses, well, at least 3 out of the 4, are not as pricey. Here we go. Top of Binion's Steakhouse downtown. Yeah, top of Binion's. These steaks are solid, but nowhere near the best in town. But you're on the 24th floor with a magnificent view at night of the lights of the city. You get waiters there who were born in the 90s, the 1890s. And they have real cocktails straight out of a 1948 movie. Next, the steakhouse at Circus Circus. Yeah, have you ever been in Circus Circus? Probably not. This is understandable. It's the IHOP of casinos. A dirty IHOP. There's sort of a downtrodden feel from the lighting to the carpeting that hasn't been vacuumed since 1997. But the hidden gem of Circus Circus is the steakhouse. The steaks taste like steaks. I enjoy the place so much, I even forgive them the fact that they offer cheddar cheese sauce upon request. Next, Herbs and Rye. This is the only Mount Rushmore steakhouse in Las Vegas not in a casino. It's on Sahara Avenue. It's only 15 years old, but it feels like it's 50 years old. Some of the customers, I believe, were there opening night and never left. It's dark and it's crowded. The cocktails are excellent, but most incredibly, listen up, at happy hour, it has half-price steaks. Let me repeat that. At happy hour, it has half-price steaks, and it is happy there and happy hour there a lot. Say no more. Finally, Michael's at South Point Casino. Yes, it's very expensive, but hey, the Chateau Briand for $200, why not? Forget the price. Remember the experience. It's different than anyone you'll ever have at any other restaurant. Somehow in 1920, I don't want to spoil, there's a lot of stuff I can tell you about. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I will tell you one thing. Somehow in 2024, they hand women a menu with no prices. That's right. The men get menus with prices listed, and the women get menus with no prices. And, and it feels okay. Heck, they weren't going to pay anyway. That is your Mount Rushmore of Las Vegas steakhouses. We are a deeply divided nation. Some would say we are the divided states of America. No one's happy. Everyone hates everyone else. We don't even know who the president is on any given day in any given year. I finally believe we need to make America great again. It's easier than you think. To show you, let's go on over to our national map. Before I was born, before any of us were born, we had 48 states. When we had 48 states, best I can tell, everyone was in a good mood. I believe we should be 48 states again. Okay, but Alaska and Hawaii are 49th and 50 states. They haven't done anything wrong. I mean, I say we keep them. Okay? No, it's time to let Texas and Florida go. They gotta go. Okay? They wanna go. Plus, Ron DeSantis wants to be president somewhere. Now he can be president of his own nation. Plus, when we do this is incredible, we solve our border problems in two places. It's now Texas's border problem with Mexico. That's another nation, okay? Florida, I know you think has no border. No, they have a border. Those Cubans keep swimming and boating their way to Miami Beach. Not our problem anymore. By the way, a weather update for you climate change deniers once again this Sunday at 2 p.m. in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be 203 degrees. 203. Bring in your pets and bring in your in-laws. Well, use your best judgment on that. Back to the desk. It's time for D-Gen's Gonna D-Gen. Case number 1. Charles Barkley has a checkered gambling history. He once lost $2.5 million in a 6-hour period playing blackjack. He once failed to take care of a $400,000 debt to the Wynn Casino, prompting them to file a civil complaint to get him to pay up. He likely has lost between $10 million and $25 million in his lifetime gambling. Barkley has insisted more than once that he has stopped gambling. On the other hand, he became a brand ambassador for FanDuel in 2020, and he has appeared in several FanDuel commercials. Which brings us to an interview the Basketball Hall of Famer did recently. Barkley grew up in Alabama, but he's lived in Phoenix for 30 years. Barkley told Arizona Sports, quote, "I love living in Phoenix. I'm never leaving Phoenix alive. They're going to cremate my fat ass. My ass is so big, I want some ashes in Alabama, I want some ashes in Phoenix, and I want the rest in a casino in Vegas." End quote. You got to love Sir Charles. And, I assume he wants some of his ashes to be spread in a Vegas casino so he can be close to his money. Degen's gonna degen. Case number 2. A 22-year-old chess master was kicked out of an event in Spain for allegedly using a phone during bathroom breaks to cheat. Kirill Shevchenko, a Ukrainian who represents Romania in team competitions, is ranked 69th in the world. According to El Mundo newspaper, a phone was found in the bathroom with a note attached that said, "Don't touch. This telephone has been left so the owner can answer it at night." The note appeared to be in Shevchenko's handwriting. Shevchenko aroused suspicion with his frequent toilet trips during the competition. He likely was going to be using a computer program on the phone to help with his next chess move. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but this is why I prefer checkers to chess. In the last several years, there have been so many scandals, cheating scandals in chess. In checkers, my friends, we play a clean game. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. This spring forward, fall back business has got to stop. I don't care if it's daylight standard time. I don't care if it's daylight savings time. I don't care if it's daylight supersize it time. Just pick one. I have absolutely no idea what time it is right now. I am tired of tracking down every clock in my house, taking it off the wall, and moving the hand one way or the other. The ancient Greeks never engaged in this malarkey. They picked a time and they stuck to it. Nobody was adjusting a sundial there twice a year. I never know if I'm an hour early or an hour late anymore. So until we stop this nonsense, I'm just showing up whenever I damn well please. That will do it for another episode of Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad. Hope to see you next time. And remember, if you are going to roll the dice, make sure they're loaded. Norm and Chad. I'm at a crossroads, America. You can put water balloons on YouTube and get 10 million views. I put smart, provocative content on YouTube and get 10 views. So they brought in some YouTube Yahoo to help me. "You want more views?" he asked. "Where bright, obnoxious colors, red, yellow, and orange, are best. They even changed the color of the colander I put on my head when I make NFL picks. Why don't I just pierce my nose, pierce my tongue, and stand on my head wearing only a jockstrap? I want out." You think Mark Twain and W.C. Fields could work under these conditions? You huckadoodles never even heard of Mark Twain and W.C. Fields. But yeah, I've got to work. If you're not going forward, you're going backward. I've got to put bread on the table and kibble in Blue's bowl. So it's a new day and a new game. Let's see if I can get a million views doing this. If that doesn't do it, I will go gambling mad!
Gambling Mad with Norm Chad is written by Norm Chad and ghostwritten by Norm Chad. Executive producer John Scheinberg, Rick Barrio-Dill, and produced by Norm Chad and Rick Barrio-Dill. Associate producer is Bree Coury. And on editing, Asher Friedberg. Audio, video, engineering, and studio facilities provided by 360 Pod Studios Beverly Hills and Slap Studios LA. If you want to complain to Norm about anything, make sure to reach out at Gambling Mad Show, anywhere you get your socials, and at Gambling Mad with Norm Chad on YouTube. And if you really want to get at him, send a message to info@slapstudiosla.com.